Hey guys, welcome to this video on how to find your asteroids in your chart, how to know if an asteroid is significant to your chart. So we're gonna just jump in and do a sample chart on how to actually do this. This is a how-to video, so let's go. For this one, we're gonna look at the chart of Martin Luther King Jr. because he has a significant asteroid. So I want to a fixed star actually. So I wanna use him as an example. But what we're going to do is we're just going to start as if we were, in astro.com, navigate to the extended chart selection, and then this will be your info that you're looking at. But instead of clicking just going to show the chart right away, you're going to scroll down to the bottom. And you're going to look at this box on the left-hand side called Additional Objects. And what I do is I just click the top one, hit Shift, and then select them all. You can hit Control and select whatever you want manually as well. There's also a box on the right if you know the number of a asteroid or fixed star or hypothetical planet you want to see, you can click that. And then you hit click here to show chart. Now, this is only going to be those main asteroids, those main points, but it's a good starting point. And now what I do here is now don't be overwhelmed by all these little things. You're going to be able to separate this out. Number one, look for something conjunct the angles or the personal planets. This is how I personally use asteroids. Some people use asteroids in signs and houses for meaning. I don't really use them that way. I use them as like only very significant to the person's life if they make a conjunction. And I usually use about a 2-degree orb. So based on that, we have, this is Martin Luther King Jr. with his ascendant at 709, Aldebaran, or Aldebaran, I'm probably saying it wrong, 9 degrees and 12 minutes. So we can tell that is just a little outside of that 2-degree orb. So this is a very significant fixed star to have on the ascendant. They all are. When they're conjunct the ascendant, conjunct the midheaven or the IC, or conjunct the sun or any other personal planet, these are the really, really important ones. These are the ones that are going to infuse into the person's personality or life direction. So Aldebaran is a star. I talked a lot about it in the New Moon in Gemini video, the new moon being recently, Aldebaran being conjunct that new moon. So it's a really significant energy. You can watch that video if you want more on that. But basically, Aldebaran is all about leadership and stepping up to a cause that is bigger than you, that is greater than you, that is literally worth dying for, and being worthy of that cause. Not only does Martin Luther King Jr. have this, so does so did John F. Kennedy. And although it was in his chart, I think it was conjunct the sun, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember, but it's not on his ascendant. It's conjunct something else significant. And so another thing about Aldebaran to know is Antares is opposite. So anyone who has, which has a different energy, and it's not a good one, but anyone who has Aldebaran is also going to have a relationship. It will relate to Antares. So they're like an axis of fixed stars, kind of. So that being said, now I would look and see, and I know the answer is that he doesn't have any more, but what I would do here is I would look to the sun, the Mercury, the Venus, the Mars, and the moon. And I would see, is there anything within 2 degrees, any fixed star, any of these points here? And then if you don't know what a point means and you're like, well, what does it mean to have the galactic center conjunct my moon? Then you go Google, you can Google that stuff. So this is just a fun, quick, sort of easy way to see what's significant in your chart. You could even see, if something's on the north node, maybe I would consider that, significant too, or the south node even. And then like for him, you can also see like Neptune conjunct the vertex. That's interesting. The vertex is a point we all have in our chart. It's like a point of fate in our chart. So he would have fated experiences related to Neptune energy. What's Neptune energy? Faith, inspiration, delusion, dreams. Sound familiar? Not delusion, but the dream side, the ideal, right? Because Neptune is the ideal. So some people with Neptune, they'll be very connected to their ideal or the ideal for something. but others are going to, with Neptune, be a little bit more. I don't want to say misguided, but a little bit more on the escapist side of Neptune. So we can't tell just by looking at someone's chart whether they're living out the shadow or the light side of a conjunction. And another thing, while we just got his chart going on, he has Saturn in Sagittarius. Sagittarius being the sign of like the preacher kind of energy. Now, the thing about wherever we have Saturn is where we have the greatest potential for mastery, but only if we work really hard for it. And so, we can see obviously his I Have a Dream speech being kind of infused into all that stuff. So basically, what you're going to do here is you're going to look and see, do I have anything? We can do my chart too as an example, just to see. So now we're going to do my chart, and we can do it. We're going to do some other stuff here just for fun. One thing you can also do is if you know the name of an asteroid you want to look up, you can look it up. So let's say you want to see astrology. So you look up Urania. You just find the letter, go down, and find it in the list. I passed it. I passed it again. There it is. So, or if you know the number, so I could check this to get it. Or if I know the number is 30, like maybe I was looking online and it said that, I could just type it here, 30, and then a comma, and then the next number. But other ones that could be significant here that you might want to start with for fun is the hypothetical planets. I think these are cool. So you could start, I would do these ones down here. And I know that I have a couple of these, so that's why I'm picking them as well. But you could do the same thing with all of this. You could do all these too. I've never checked these out. Okay, I got the most I can do at once. So then click here to show chart. So now this is my chart with the hypothetical planets. If basically the way asteroids, fixed stars, hypotheticals, all that stuff, it's way easier to work with these than you might think. All you have to do is figure out which one is significant to you and then look it up and figure out what it means. I know that I'm making it sound really simple, but it's not like hard. It's not outside of you to do this yourself, is what I want you to know. So what do we notice? We notice my ascendant at 2405 of Virgo. And I have Zeus right here, 2407. I don't know if this is good or bad, but I just learned about this one. So that's an example of a conjunction, a very, very tight conjunction. So 2 minutes away, very, very close. So this means I'll have Zeus-like energy infused into my ascendant. What does that mean? Does that mean people will see me as a god? Probably not. Possibly some other Zeus-like qualities, like wanting to be in charge, even though I have a Virgo rising, and that doesn't necessarily isn't what you would expect. Virgo risings tend to be usually will excel at positions where they are not in charge. They usually benefit from being in a role where someone else is organizing and making the decisions. Not always, but that is one possibility for Virgo rising. And it depends on where your Mercury is too. So my Mercury being in the 3rd house of Sag is not helping me out on that front. That was a side note. So we're going to look and see, do any of these. So we go to my sun and we go to my moon and we go to all the personal planets and we see, is anything conjunct? And the answer is no. We have no other conjunctions here to any personal planets. We look to the IC. Is there anything on there? No. Is there anything on the MC? No. So if you had something conjunct your midheaven, this would be significant. This would be something to notice. And then, maybe you could consider this one. I don't know what this is. Admit. That one I haven't actually worked with, but it's close to my North Node. I know there's a point that's closer, but it's just not on the list of the ones I picked here. So we could do this again with the rest of these. So we'll go there. We'll check this out again. And we'll look for the same thing. So some of these are the same because I didn't take them off, but do I have anything conjunct the midheaven? No. Do I have anything else conjunct the ascendant? No. Do I have anything on my Mars? No. Persephone conjunct Pluto, that's interesting. I think that's Persephone. Yeah, Porcifina. So that would be something maybe I would look up and see what that means. Even though Pluto isn't a personal planet, this is not probably as significant, but it does explain why I did call on Persephone to help me clear out my subconscious mind before I even knew about this. So that makes me feel very validated. Oh, Vulcan. I have Vulcan conjunct the sun. I did not know that. I have to look up what that one means. Hopefully it's not bad. Also, let me know if you guys want a video on like what to do when you see a bad placement in your chart. Oh, this is interesting. Harrington conjunct. Is it Harrington? Let's see. Yeah, Harrington conjunct my Mercury. This is significant because Mercury rules my ascendant. So even if you were a Scorpio rising and you had Persephone conjunct Pluto, it's spelled Porcifina, but it's Persephone. That would be something more significant because it's the ruler of your chart. So that's another planet aside from the personal planets I didn't mention earlier that would be useful to take a look at on here. So I'm going to look up what does Vulcan conjunct the sun mean and what does Harrington conjunct Mercury mean. I think I also have done it this way and selected all of those and found that I think I have Varuna conjunct the midheaven, right? So Varuna here at 20 conjunct the MC. So again, we're not going to look at everything. You might look for a pattern if you have like a pile up somewhere, right? So like example, I have Pallas conjunct the part of fortune. This still isn't a huge deal, but it might be significant to know. You can also see where you have the galactic center. I have the galactic center conjunct the sun, so this is a significant one. It's a very close conjunction as well. Now, how significant you think about how the thing moves. So the galactic center doesn't move very fast. It's pretty fixed. So anyone born the same time of year, each year is going to have their sun conjunct the galactic center. So is it a hugely significant thing? I don't know, but I think solar conjunctions matter. Now, is this what makes me so spiritual, or is it my life is a black hole? I don't know. But if you want to know more about the galactic center, you should definitely watch Let's F with Astrology, Ellie's videos. She has tons of content. She has a blog. She's been studying it. Highly recommend checking her out. You can also see like Vertex, again, Vertex conjunct the moon. This is kind of significant, but also not too significant. It just means that the fated encounters are also going to deal with my moon, which does make sense. Fated experiences, I mean, the basic delineation here, fated experiences with the mother. That is true in my life. Moving on to the next way to do this. The next way to do this is to do the same thing in Luna. Now, Luna costs $3 a month, so it's not free. You don't have to go rush right out and buy it if you don't want to, but I love it because it is super affordable and it has the space-time navigator, so that's what I use it for. Disclaimer, if you were born before like 1970 something, then your birth time might not be accurate in Luna, so you need to check it with astro.com, make sure it gives you the right rising sign, and go from there. And thank you to the awesome client who pointed that out to me. So what I'm going to do here is choose my own chart. So now that I've got my chart up here, I'm going to go to my name over here, settings. We're going to go to chart points and click all of them. And that's a lot of stuff. So don't get overwhelmed when you see the chart looking like this. We're just looking for the really significant things. And immediately we're going to start, I've always started this ascendant. Not only do we have Zeus conjunct the ascendant, we also have Haumea. And if you don't know what the symbol is, you click on it, and I think you just click it twice. And then it tells you what it's called, and it gives you the aspects too. So we're going to close that. So that's Haumea. So I could Google Haumea conjunct ascendant and see what it means. And so now we're just going to keep going here and see if there's anything else that's like super jumping out at us as super important. This is not a big deal to have two nodes. This just means that the south node of Uranus and the south node of Mercury were conjunct when I was born. I don't think that's super significant. And see, like all these are piled up here, these nodes. I wouldn't consider that significant. I would consider it significant if one of the nodes of Uranus or Mercury is like conjunct a personal planet or something. So you can see the Venus south node is here. That doesn't really do anything, but it does actually mean, I think it means that the north node of Venus would be on my, that actually, okay, so I just happen to know that 22 degrees is my IC. So that makes it more significant. So we could Google that as well. What does it mean when the south node of Venus is conjunct someone's IC? If this has a bad meaning, don't tell me in the comments, please. Thank you. Oh, okay. So why are there two north nodes? One is the true node and one is the mean node. AKA the north node goes like this. And so some astrologers will use the true node, which is going to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. This is why also if you're north node or south node or retrograde, it's not significant because they're going like this, because they're points in space, and the way that the angles are with the earth and stuff, that's what that is. So here's a significant one, a couple significant ones. This is, I think we saw this in Astro. This is Admetos. No, we didn't see that one. So Admetos conjunct the north node. So I can Google that. And then this one is Sedna conjunct the north node. I wish I had not known what that meant. That one was not fun to learn about. So that's it. And then so we just see what the significant ones are, and then we go Google those. And we know more about ourselves. That's really kind of what it is. So keep in mind, the rest of this stuff, I wouldn't worry about the other things that are not conjunct your sun, moon, or rising, or your personal planets, or possibly angles or the north and south node. Those would be the things I would look for. Otherwise, it's just a little too much. And you don't have to stop here. If you want to keep going with this, you can go into Astro and you can learn about more asteroids. You can find the fixed stars, there's a lot in here. So it kind of works better, if you want to know more about fixed stars, I would just go fixed stars. Astrology. I would know the degrees of all of my planets and I would just look for the list. So here's like a good list, right? So you would go, okay, I know I have something at 17 degrees of Aries. I don't, but let's say you do. Then you look 14, 21. Are they within 3 degrees? Ooh, is this one within 3 degrees? If it is, then look at it. And what does it mean? And then read it. And that kind of infuses that energy into that planet or place. So that is what I have for this video, you guys. Let me know if this made sense, if it helped, if you were able to do it, if you learned something. I love hearing from you and helping you learn more about your chart. I just wanted to give this as a little hack because it's something, once you know how to pull a circle chart, you can just start doing this research and learn more about yourself. So again, let me know if it helped. I love hearing from you, and I will see you all in the next video.